Shalom, everyone, and welcome to day 8 of Biblical Hebrew. And so today, the letter that you'll be learning is the letter Chet. And Chet makes the sound of the CH kind of sound, as in the German name Bach. Bach. So it makes the sound. So this is the sound Chet makes, and it's usually the sound that scares new students of Hebrew or beginners of Hebrew. This is the letter that everyone gets scared of because it makes the sound, and it's hard to kind of isolate the sound. So I won't be explaining how to make the sound in this video. I'll be doing a separate video where I will walk through the process of how I learned this sound and how I developed it to get this sound. And maybe that might help you out in trying to isolate the sound. But for this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to explain this letter to you and the differences of this letter between other letters. So to keep the video short, that's what I'm going to do. But in another video, I will walk through the process of how you can learn how to isolate the sound. Okay, so moving on. The letter Chet is part of the gutturals plus resh club. So the other two letters that you've learned so far that are part of this club is Aleph and Hey. So now Aleph and Hey have another member that is joining their club. It's the letter Chet. Chet is part of the gutturals plus resh club. Okay, so moving on. The next thing you're going to learn is the difference between these two letters, the letter Hey and the letter Chet. So Hey has a gap over here, as you can see where the arrow is pointing. There's a gap, and it's very important that you remember that Hey has this gap between the top because the letter Chet doesn't have this. So Chet here does not have that gap. And you can think of the letter Hey. When you say Hey, it's like a puff of air coming out. So in Hey kind of needs that gap to send that puff of air out. Whereas Chet does not have that. So it kind of sounds like your throat is constricted when you're going because it's like the gap here is closed. So maybe that can help you out in remembering which letter is which. The other thing you can use to remember the letter Hey is that poor Hey has a broken leg and needs to go to the hospital because there's a gap here. So it looks kind of like Hey's leg is broken because Chet's leg is not broken. So you can use that also as a way of remembering the differences between these two letters. Okay? So at first you may get these two confused, but what's a good way of practicing this is to try and write out these letters side by side on a page and take note of the differences between them. And as you write the letter out, say the name of the letter. Moving on, we're going to take a look at a word using the letter Chet. So we'll look at the first consonant here, and this is the Chet, which is why we have a CH here sound. Remember, when you see in transliteration, when you see a C and a H together, it does not make a ch sound as in chocolate or cheese. It makes a sound as in Bach. Okay? So whenever you see a transliteration for Hebrew words, it's not a ch sound, it's a sound. Okay? And I will do the other video where I'll explain how you can try to isolate that sound. Okay? But this letter is making a sound, and then we're going to look down at the vowel, and this vowel is a segol. Segol makes an sound, kind of like the E here. It's a very short, like you just say Okay, so we have the and the so you go che. I know it's kind of hard to get the and then say the sound, but over time you'll develop the ability to make the sound. But it's che. Okay, now we're going to look over to the next letter, and this letter you have not learned it yet, but it's okay. I'm going to tell you what this letter is. Okay, so this letter is samech. So samech makes an S sound. S. So you have the S here. So we're going to look down now and we see a segol again. We have another segol. And this, as the same as the previous one, will make the sound. So you have s, the S sound, s, and you have the sound. S, So you have se. So we have ch here, and we have se over here. Okay, so we have ch, se. Okay, now we're going to look over to the next letter, and you should know this letter. This was the letter on, I think it was day 4, Dalet. Yeah, I think it was day 4. So you learned this letter. It's Dalet, and it makes a D sound, as in door. And you have the letter D here. So you have D. Dalet makes a D sound. So now we'll combine those. You have ch, se, d. Ch, se, d. And then you put the sounds together, you get chesed. Chesed. And the word is chesed. And this word means loving kindness, steadfast loyalty, mercy, covenant love, faithful love, grace. Yes, it has so many meanings. All of this is wrapped up in this one word, chesed. It's a very special word in the Hebrew Bible. And translators have a headache trying to translate this word because there is no perfect one-to-one English equivalent of this word. You have to use several English words to capture the meaning of this one word in Hebrew. So it's very difficult for them to translate it. That's why when you see a lot of Bible translations, when they start, they'll have a lot of different words. So different Bible translations may say things. Some may say loving kindness, some may say faithful love, some may say grace. And that's because they're having a difficult time trying to capture the meaning of this word because there's no perfect English equivalent. Okay? And something else you should know is that when this letter, when the letter chet is being transliterated, which means phonetically trying to write it out in English, sometimes they will use a CH sound here. Sometimes they'll do that. Or they may use a letter H, and they will put a dot under the letter. So sometimes if you see that in some transliterations, that's the ch sound. Because I don't know why they put a H or a dot under it, but some people, when they're transliterating, they will do that. I had a Bible or a Tanakh, that is the Hebrew Bible, from Koren Publications, and they had it's like a bilingual Bible, so it had Hebrew on one side and had the English translation on the other side. But for names of people and places, they transliterated the Hebrew, and when they transliterated this letter, they used this sort of format of transliterating. They used the H with the dot under it. Okay, so just keep in mind that sometimes when you see a letter H with a dot, when someone's transliterating, it's this letter. So they can use this version where it's a CH, or they can use the H with the dot. It's much more common, though, to see a C and a H, because it's just easier to type C and H than to format everything to get the H with the dot. So I use the CH version because it's just easier to write it. So, well, not write it, type it. If I was writing it, I would probably use the H with the dot. It looks nicer. Anyway, so that's something you should keep in mind for transliteration. Okay? Moving on, we're going to take a look at how to write the letter chet. So we're going to start with a line that goes across and down. Okay? Like here in the first step where it says one line across and going down. And then you just draw a line from up there down like this. And make sure it's closed. remember the letter Hey had a gap. So when you write the letter Chet, make sure there's no gap. If there's a gap, you can get it confused with the letter Hey. So what you should probably do in practice is write a row of Chet and then write a row of Hey and alternate between the two and try and remember the differences between them. Okay? So that can help you out later on if you need to identify the letter when you're reading because you've written it out and you've paid attention to the differences between these two letters. Okay, so moving on, we're going to do a letter search and you're going to look for the letter Chet in Psalm 119. Okay, you're going to try and find as many Chets as possible. You know the drill from the past videos. So I'm going to take away the vowels so you can see the consonants clearly, and I am going to highlight God's name in blue so you know where it is. So try and find as many Chets as you can, and remember, don't get it confused with the letter Hey. Hey has a broken leg and needs to go to the hospital. Okay? So keep that in mind. And now I'm going to put a timer up and you're going to see how many you can find in maybe 10 seconds. Okay? So if you need more time, you can always pause the video. You don't have to worry about a timer. This is YouTube after all. You can press pause and you can take as much time as you want. Okay? But if you want to give yourself a challenge, you can use the timer. Okay, ready, set, go. And time's up. So let's see how many letter chets are in this passage. We have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. So we have a total of 6. So yeah, so remember not to get chet mixed up with hey, but I forgot to tell you that there may be another letter that you haven't learned yet that you may get it mixed up with, and it's this one right here. See it? This one has a little foot. You'll learn this letter later on, but you may get these sort of 3 letters confused. You'll get chet, hey, and this letter is tav, but it has a foot. It's not as I've never really gotten tav mixed up that much, but hey and chet kinda you can get mixed up. I just think it's much more common that people may get hey and chet mixed up versus tav, because tav is it has like a little foot here and it seems so obvious. Whereas sometimes if the font is too small, you may not see the gap between the hey over here, and so you can get a hey and a chet mixed up more often than you would get a tav and a chet mixed up. So I don't know, it's just something I think that is more common to happen is a chet and a hey versus a tav. Okay, so moving on, what you should know before you go to the next lesson is you should know the name of the letter. It's chet. You should know the sound. It makes a ch sound, like the ch sound, as in Bach. So it makes a ch sound. Bach, Bach, the German name Bach. And when transliterating it, it can be transliterated with the ch, or it can be transliterated with the letter h with a dot under it. It's much more common to see the ch one though, okay? The other thing is this letter is a consonant, and it is part of the gutturals plus resh club. So what other 2 letters have you learned that are part of this club? You've learned that Aleph is part of this club. You've learned that Hey is part of this club. And now you've learned that Chet is part of this club. So now there are 3 members of the club. Try to remember the letters. So when you sing the Aleph-Bet song, try and see if you can remember which ones are part of the club, which ones you have learned that are part of this club, okay? So I'm going to say it one more time because I'm trying to repeat it as much as possible so you don't have to force memorize it, but of how many times you hear me say it, it hopefully will go in your head. The letters that are part of the gutturals plus resh club that you have learned so far is Aleph, Hey, and Chet. Okay? Aleph, Hey, Chet is part of the gutturals plus resh club. All right? Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson where we will be reviewing all the letters you have learned so far. And also I will be putting up another video where you can learn how to isolate the chet sound. And until then, I will say shalom and God bless.